You had no authority. None.
Sam, thank you so much for having a chat with us. Very much appreciated.
It's a pleasure.
So let's talk about that first scene, because I absolutely adored it. It just had that thrill of just being like, yes, 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 yes. So obviously it was the one take going into that. Why did you want to start with that?
Well, I sort of wanted to throw an audience right down into the middle of something. You know, I mean, the weird thing about Bond is that there are these rules that everyone kind of knows, you know, which is that there are going to be probably three big action sequences and a few little fights and stuff in between.
Yeah.
There are going to be girls, there are going to be glamorous locations. But there's also going to be this 10 minutes at the beginning where, you know, the bar's raised very high. It's probably going to be a huge action sequence. It's going to have to be thrilling. But you don't have to tell the audience a lot about story. You don't have to tell the audience what's going on, because you know who our central character is. We're just watching him somewhere. So you've got a huge head start. And you can get away with 10 minutes of pure film with no indication about what the story is going to be. And funnily enough, there's very few movies where you can actually do that. Mm-hmm. So you have the opportunity to throw an audience right down to the middle of something without any explanation at all, and they'll go with you. You sort of lure the audience in with one long take. So you just settle them down so you're right in the middle of the crowd and you're following the character. You're not quite sure it's him, you're pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's in a mask, then it is him. And then it unfolds from there. And by the time you get to that still point at the end of the shot, you're ready for the story to begin and you're completely immersed in the world, I hope.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And then it unfolds, you know, then there's a lot of action ensues. And then probably the most technically difficult thing we had to do in the whole movie, which is the fight inside the out-of-control helicopter, which really was a challenge. But
I was going to ask,
we
was
did it.
any elements of that actually in a helicopter flying? Was that actually?
Oh yes.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of real helicopter flying, not over real crowd. I mean, when you know, but it was not. It was dangerous. Let's face it. There's no other way of saying it.
But
It was
again,
dangerous.
no Bond movie wouldn't be.
Exactly.
in any way.
There's a tradition, isn't there, of doing real stunts for real, with you know with real machinery and very little created in computer. What we did here is we had two plots. Ultimately, Bond, you know, almost goes backwards in time during the course of the plot through a series of cities and landscapes that are really sort of aspirational, sort of almost fantasy world. You know?
Yeah, completely.
Like Mexico City and Rome and the Alps, thousands of feet up, and the Sahara and Tangier. Very romantic, I think. And then back in London, you've got the MI6 story. You've got Ralph Fiennes and Andrew Scott and Ben Whishaw and Naomi Harris being brilliant, and the two hopefully work in counterpoint.
Hypothetically, would you do another?
It's impossible to answer at this stage.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of answering it last time too soon.
And then you were tied into it.
Yeah, and then, but I know, I just think, you know, the worst time is right after you finish because you're so shattered. You can't.
Yeah. Congratulations,
Yeah.
you need a holiday.